Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel where I am talking about Chris Watts and Shanann Watts, Nicole Kessinger, and this case. It is August and this is 2 years since that case began, and so I am now rolling on into talking about Chris Watts and the relationship that he had with Nicole Kessinger, which was his mistress. And so I was kind of rambling on about different things that I noticed, and I do talk about narcissistic abuse in relationships. And so I found this case quite interesting, and I have been paying attention to it for the last year. I know that it's been 2 years, but for me it's been the last year because my daughter pointed this case out to me to follow, and I wanted to make sure that I really had a lot of information on it. And so I wanted to just be able to just kind of talk about it without, because you can go to many channels and they can, they've got to outline step by step, things that were said and written and all kinds of things. And I will post one that I find very good. And so if you want to follow it, you can look in the description and go to her channel. It's quite fabulous. So the first day after Chris Watts, so if you're following the videos in order, you know that Chris Watts has had an extramarital affair with this Nicole Kessinger at work. And Shanann, she had been in North Carolina. She went home for 6 weeks to visit her family, and she thought that everything was fine. She was pregnant. They were going to have a reveal party and they had it planned. And, she thought that he was excited about it. He didn't seem super excited, but she thought he was on board from, the way they talked to each other. And she thought that their relationship was good, that they were fine. Sometimes all couples have some little blips here and there, but she didn't think that her marriage was on the rocks. And as I said in the last video, she started to notice while she was in North Carolina the change. And the reason is, when she went to North Carolina for 6 weeks, Chris, who, in his mind is like, oh, thank God, my family's gone now and I can have this other life. And I can just pretend to be this single Chris, and I can have this relationship with Nicole at work, and this is going to be fantastic. And he did. He was spending the night with her every night. They were going on trips together. They were emailing and talking, and he wasn't paying much attention to his wife. And, Shanann is very connected, and so she calls, and he is too, and they text and they talk every day. And now all of a sudden she's noticing a change. So that alarm bell is going off, and she's like, what's going on? I don't understand. And she can see that he's pulling away from her, so she starts asking questions, and she's pushing for answers because every day she can see something different. And so she's like worried. She's pregnant. She's, away from home. She doesn't want people to worry. She's with family, and so she's trying to just keep up, and be like normal so other people don't worry. But she's increasingly getting worried on the inside, and so she's going to the source and she's asking what's going on, and she's wanting their marriage to be better, and she's like, let's go to counseling, and let's, she's looking up books. Oh God, I've done this. Every book in the world, let's read these books together, and let's try this, and what couples are supposed to do to stay together. She wants her marriage to work. She wants to be happy. She's pregnant. They're supposed to be happy. She's like, do you want me to have an abortion? What's going on? Like, I thought everything was okay. Now he's saying, well, I don't know if I want the baby. And she's like, what? And of course she is. This is what drives me a little bit nuts about Chris Watts' mother, the way she talks about Shanann. It's like, really, lady? Like, she's pregnant. She has treated those children and your son so good, and you talk so much crap about her, you know what? She had every reason in the world to be worried and concerned. You know, there's two people in the marriage and you're acting like one person was just all bad, and you know, you can't even look at anything within your son, Chris Watts. I don't know if she watches all these videos, but it just irritates me. I'm like, the way she has really acted about Shanann really bugs me. But so, you know, she has an alarm system, and she's wanting to make her marriage work, and she's doing what most people who want to make their marriage work do. They are trying to get therapy, they're looking up things, they're trying to talk to their partner, they're trying to be better and do things that, you know, or say and flirt with them, whatever, you know, to make things better. And so to connect again. And she feels like she needs to do all these things. And, you know, and here she's pregnant, you're not feeling, you know, you gained some weight, and, you know, she was beautiful girl, but, you know, you're not feeling the best, and now you're not getting that attention, and you feel so disconnected, and you're trying your best to connect, and you're out of state even. And here he's not even thinking about her until she texts or calls, and that's annoying to him because he just wants to be in this relationship with Nicole and pretend like he's just single and fancy free. And you know, Shanann is just ever present every time she's calling and texting. And it's like, you just keep reminding me of what my real life is, and that's annoying. And he's devaluing her. And, you know, I believe, you know, because Nicole is saying she wants to have a baby. She wants to do all the firsts with him. She wanted to be the first. Yeah, a lot of us want to be the first, but, you know, he has a family already. That's not going to be a first. You want to have a son. Well, she's pregnant with their son. And, you know, but Nicole wanted these things, and she's dropping these hints, kind of like Chris's mom, all this time dropping hints about how Shanann's not the one for him. It's not the right match for you. Basically, you made a mistake. You don't know any better. I know better for what's for you is basically what mom, you know, is subconsciously dropping all of that in, you know, to his mind. Nicole is dropping these hints too. I can't be with you. I'm not going to be with you. You've got a family, and I want to be number one. I don't want to be number 1, 2, 3, 4. No, she wants to be 1, not 2, 3, or 4, or 5. You know, basically saying, you know, your kids, somebody's always going to be before me, and I want to be number 1 in your life. And all this keeps happening, and he's thinking about it, and I believe because he does have highly narcissistic traits, if not a narcissistic personality disorder person, which triggered that, also that sociopath. I mean, just no emotion. It's as if he has zero empathy and guilt at all. Now, and I think he felt he was above the law because obviously he killed his entire family at some point. There was no, you know, hey, let me hold on a second. I don't want to get in trouble. A narcissist, just a narcissistic person would be at least like, I don't want anybody to think bad of me and like I'm a murderer or anything. I don't want to get caught. A sociopath would be like, I won't get caught. I can get away with this, and I can still have everything I want, and it's magical thinking. And he's got all this magical thinking going on. Like, one, right now, he's magical thinking, I'm single and fancy free, and look at my life. I'm living this great life. And kids, wife, who, where? North Carolina? But then he has to go to North Carolina and visit, or come to North Carolina, because I'm in North Carolina, and visit his family. And so he's here, and after, I think they had been gone like maybe 5 weeks or something. And so he comes, and, you know, she knows that their marriage isn't good, and she wants it to be better, and they talk about it, and he assures her that everything is going to be okay. And she's like, I need you to hold me. I need you to assure me that everything is going to be okay. And I don't understand why you can't. She wanted him to hold her. She wanted attention from him. She wanted to feel safe, and she kept saying that. And he wasn't doing that, and that's because he wasn't really present with her. He was having an affair with someone else and denying it to his wife. She knew. Women and men know that it's like, things are different. Are you having an affair? That will come out. Are you having an affair? And they will make you feel like you're crazy for thinking that. And so then, Shanann, like anybody who's been gaslit like that before, will question their own judgment and go, well, maybe I'm reading into this, and maybe it's just because I'm pregnant and I'm here and, I'm with my family and I'm not there, and, but it just seems like he might be having an affair. This is so different. He's somebody else. I don't know who he is, but, and, he's gaslighting and, can be saying things like, your job is more important to you, and your, you spend more time with that than you do with your family or on me, and, whatever it is, and to make it feel like it's her. And so she wants to do better, and she's going to work harder to do better. He doesn't really want her to work harder to do better, because right now he wants to be with Nicole, and he is texting Nicole, and Nicole is texting him while he's in North Carolina with his family. He's snapping off at the children, which he normally doesn't do, and the kids all of a sudden don't want to be around daddy. It's like, daddy's being mean. I don't want to be around daddy. And they're devalued. It's like they're an annoyance. They're like little gnats to him. It's like, just get away from me. I want to go back to Colorado. I want to pretend like I don't have this, and I want to be with Nicole, who he thinks he's in love with. Because I believe that he may be narcissistic or be NPD, because he believes that he's in love. He believes it because it's infatuation and it feels good. And he doesn't know what love is, and we will talk about that. I don't know if I'm going to in this video or the next video talk about what love is. About what love is. Maybe I will hear back. He doesn't know what real love is, and so let's just go with it. He doesn't know because he's been giving cards to Nicole, and the detectives, once all this comes about, they can see on his phone things that he looks up, or computer. They can find out this stuff, and he looks up, what does love feel like? When is the best time? When do you say I love you? He's looking up lyrics to find things to write in the card, to make sure he says the right things to her, because it doesn't come natural to him. And so he needs to kind of mirror it and copy it. And so that's what he's doing. He's looking this stuff up because he doesn't really know. Infatuation is a feeling that feels as close to love as someone like that, if they have that, is ever going to feel. And that's why he goes there. It's like, I want to feel this feeling. I don't want to feel this. I don't want somebody looking at me and seeing that I'm bad. She can tell that I'm doing something bad, and I don't want to face that I'm doing something bad, and she's forcing me to do that. I want to be away from her, which would be Shanann. I want to go to Nicole, who doesn't make me face anything. She allows me to just be. And she knows I'm married. She knows I have kids now. I told her. I don't think he told her about the baby. I feel like at some point that came out, but he, because she wanted to have his baby, so that came out at some point. And I don't think she was too thrilled about that, because then I think even Nicole started to question him and was like, well, wait a minute, why would you get somebody pregnant if you were on the way out of the marriage? And why? And she was looking up Shanann, and because Shanann put everything out to the public, so her whole life was out there. And so Nicole was following that, which now Chris has closed his Facebook up because he doesn't want anybody. He doesn't want her to be looking at his Facebook. But Shanann has everything out there for the public, and she's questioning, is he playing me? Because I'm not going to have that. I'm number one. And she's also doing things to try to gain control of Chris. And one of the things that she does, and this is a narcissistic trait, and doesn't mean that somebody's narcissistic, but it is a trait, she triangulates him by telling him that she had 2 dates set up with, I think it was military men, but they didn't show up. He's telling the story to the detectives, and she had already made plans with me, as he says to the detectives, and one of the detectives is like, wait a minute, what? She told you that she, had other dates with people? Like, why do you think she told you that? You think she was telling you that to make you mad? Oh, no, I mean, like, she already had plans. Like, he didn't even get it. Like, it's like, no, yeah, she was trying to make you jealous, and she wanted you to work harder for her. She wanted you to do what it took to be with her and let you know that you are easily expendable. I will drop you for these other people on dating sites. So she let him know that she was still on dating sites so that he would worry about losing her, because she already could tell that he was somewhat obsessed, because she used her sexuality to get to him, and by having sex with him all the time, sending him pictures all the time, videos, giving him all the things that she felt that he wanted and needed from her, because she could tell by the way he acted and the things that he said and the way he basically was around her. And she didn't have the kids and she wasn't pregnant, and so she did this triangulation to try to make him jealous and make it feel like he could lose her. And once again, planting that seed, you better get it together and you better figure it out, because it won't be long and I'll be gone, buddy. If you don't do this, you're gonna lose me, and you can stay over there with them. And at this point in his mind, he doesn't think he wants to be with his family anymore. It's split thinking. And so in the split thinking, it's, I don't want this, I want this over here. And that's where he is. And so Shanann is in devaluation, and Nicole Kessinger is on the pedestal, and she is in the golden period, which is what H.G. Tudor calls it, or if you want to call it the idealization phase or the love bombing phase. That is where Nicole Kessinger is. And he wants to stay in that phase as well. And Nicole Kessinger is a manipulator, and you can see how she manipulates him throughout. And you can also see that she tries to manipulate the detectives, and she is extremely manipulative. She definitely tries to do things where she plays along with whatever information she has in front of her. Now, Chris Watts did the same thing when he was being interviewed as well. And I will talk about that in another video, because I'm trying to keep these around 20 something minutes so that it doesn't take 80 years to download. But this is what was going on. I mean, now that Chris Watts is in prison and he doesn't have Nicole Kessinger anymore, I'm sure he misses his narcissistic supply from his beautiful wife that doted on him and gave him everything he could possibly ever want. And the same thing with the children. They adored him and thought that he was everything. And so believe me, if you watch all the videos, if you're someone who's watching, or if you're not and you go to watch them, you will see that he had plenty of narcissistic supply at home. And now he doesn't have that anymore. But at the time, because he wanted so badly this other narcissistic supply that was feeding him, and it was basically ruling him. So when he talks about, sometimes in his videos, he feels like something else, like a demon came over him. Maybe it is something like that, but that demon is that narcissistic personality that's in there, and I think it's the sociopath part of him. And he was driven by his own desires of what he wanted now. And it's like the kid in the movie Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and I want it now, and she's, Daddy, I want it now, get me the whatever. And then the next thing you know, she turns into, you know, the big blueberry or whatever pie or whatever, and you know, they think she's gonna pop or whatever. She was, I think it was her, and she was a complete spoiled little brat. But I want it now, Daddy, I want it now. Well, he wanted it now. And even though he's a grown adult, and it's hard for normal people to imagine that a grown adult would be thinking like that, those are the coping skills that they had growing up. They never really grew up when it comes to emotional. They're still that child at somewhere back, I don't know what age for him, but he never got the skills to work this through. He just knows that this is what he wants and this is what he's got to do to get to it. And it, you know, he's becoming somebody else. He's trying not to think about it. It's what he's got to do. I've got to come with a plan. I've got to follow it. And I don't have any emotion about it. I need them to be gone so that I can be here. And so, and he wasn't reflecting on that and what could happen, and that he could go to prison and all those things that a normal person would do, and a normal person wouldn't even be thinking about that. But a normal person would probably just be like, I need to get a divorce, or tell their wife they were having an affair or whatever, go to marriage counseling, however. But this ended up in murder. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video, and we'll go into the next video, because I want to, there's gonna be a bunch of these videos, because I kind of want to go through when Chris Watts goes to his house for the first time after his wife has gone missing. Thanks. Subscribe and hit that bell so that you get the alerts to the next videos. And make comments, because I know a lot of you do follow this. And those of you that haven't and you start to follow it, I'd like to hear your comments and your thoughts as well. Thanks. Bye.